Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this very important topic about APM and what some of the challenges are that we see with APM implementations in many enterprises and what we can hope to do about it. So today I want to thank Pete Pizzutillo for presenting to us. Pete is been in the industry in software analysis and software measurement, software estimation for a long time, and he's been doing a lot of work over the course of the years with PMOs and project managers and application owners on various issues with regard to software measurement. And today he's going to talk to us about APM, application portfolio management, and what some of these issues are and how we might be able to resolve them. So, Pete, thank you again for presenting, and let me turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Lev. First, I want to thank everybody for joining us today and this opportunity for us to talk about this pretty interesting topic in terms of application portfolio management. Today, you can see the agenda. What I'll be walking through is the current state of application portfolio management, why the industry still struggles to realize the values and the promises made on this important practice. I also want to spend some time talking to you about Cast Highlight, which is a product that we are bringing to market that has an APM solution or service around it, and talk a little bit about the motivation for the development of that product. I'll also show you in detail how it works, and then give you an example of how one of our large commercial banking customers has been using Cast Highlight to do some portfolio analysis as well as some ongoing portfolio monitoring. So let's get started. First, I wanted to just define APM. This is a definition brought to you by Gartner. They say application portfolio management is a process using information and analytics that produces objective and transparent decisions around investing, consolidating, modernizing, and replacing applications. I think historically people get application portfolio management because it seems to make sense. It resonates with our rational thinking that before you spend money, it makes sense to look at the benefits and the costs and being able to assess those costs before making any investment choices. And for many years, analysts have been defining the APM market, covering the various APM tools and best practices, and large system integrators such as IBM, CSC, and Fujitsu have been developing practices. So they'll have practices on application portfolio analysis or application portfolio rationalization. And as you can see, there's been many claims over the years in terms of APM's value to an organization, both the IT side and the business value side. Most recently, last week, was the Gartner PPM Summit, and there were several presentations that were delivered around APM or APM practices. And this is Andy Kite's view of an explanation of application overhaul, and his interpretation of how the reality, the ideal portfolio distribution from new, young adolescents to the majority being prime and then eventually mature, is very different than the typical portfolio that he's seeing across his client base in the industry today. As you can see, the portfolio distribution is a little bit different, where there are some smaller, new and young applications in the portfolio set, and a lot of mature. And he even goes on to add additional categories such as senile and zombie. And I think, Lev, if you have any insight that you want to share in terms of that presentation that you sat through.
Yeah, no, and it's always very interesting to hear Andy Kite from Gartner talk about application overhaul and some of the kind of IT debt issues that large organizations get into. He makes the topic quite entertaining. But, some of the issues that he's seen here that, and we've seen this as well, actually, with some of our customers, is, a lot of applications that are in that kind of mature, ideally in the end phase of life cycle, often get involved in overhaul initiatives where you may be looking to bundle the functionality of 3 or 4 applications and replace them with one application that is kind of a new go-to application in a portfolio that may be in that new category over on the left. But often by the time such an initiative reaches the point where the new application is ready to go, the older ones, the mature ones that were supposed to be decommissioned have moved on in terms of their functionality as well, and they wind up having to be kept. And so you're kind of stuck with a situation where not only do you have the new application, but you have the original ones, and instead of reducing your application count by 3, you've now just incremented it by 1. And so it's just the point being that it's difficult to make the business case often to spend the time and the effort to actually decommission applications. So you have new ones coming in, but it's hard to have old applications actually decommissioned.
Right, and that's one of the many reasons that we'll touch upon this later that we hear from our clients in the marketplace about some of the challenges with APM.